The movie begins by showing a man named Kim Min Kyu who has just arrived at a building. Before getting out of his car, he prepared a medicine he carried in his bag. After that, Min Kyu went to see 3 doctors who were interviewing him. Min Kyu apparently wanted to apply for a suspension not to participate in military service, but the team of doctors doubted his reasons when they read his biography, which stated that he had an allergy to humans. Soon after, Min Kyu opened his jacket, walked closer, and held one of the doctor's hands. Suddenly, his skin started to rash, which surprised the doctors. In the end, he received permission not to join the military due to health reasons. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu, who looks so perfect because he has a handsome face, and is wealthy, and works as a director of a company called KM Financial. Even so, Min Kyu actually feels very lonely. After all, he only lives in a big house alone because his parents died 15 years ago. Besides that, Min Kyu's disease, which is allergic to human touch and cannot be cured, makes it increasingly difficult for him to interact with others. So far, he has only been accompanied by his housekeeper who rarely meets. Occasionally, he is visited by the doctor who treats him. Because of this, he doesn't have human friends and only has a few cleaning robots that accompany him when he's at home. The scene changed, showing a woman in the middle of the crowd. The woman's name was Jia. She apparently was in line to buy the latest edition of the action figure because it was an object ordered by her customer. Jia is a part-time worker who works by offering her services to people. Finally, she managed to get the action figure with great difficulty and went to meet her customer who had ordered the item. When she got there, it turned out that Jia's customer was Min Kyu, so he told her to put the action figure in the car so he could check the packaging. When Min Kyu checks the action figure's packaging, it turns out there are sauce stains, making him cancel the deal to give Jia a bonus. After that, he intends to leave, but Jia tries to chase his car, causing her to fall down instead. This forced Min Kyu to go out to make sure Jia was okay, but it turned out that it was just her trick to keep him from leaving. Jia again stopped Min Kyu, pulling his collar and begging him not to cancel their deal. However, he managed to escape, which made her angry, and she promised to revenge for his actions. One day, Min Kyu suddenly gets a video from Hong Bae-kyun, who works as a robot researcher. In the video, Bae-kyun demonstrates his creation robot named allergy 3. Then he says that the robot belongs to Min Kyu because it is written in the contract. It is known there that his research site is a subsidiary of Min Kyu's KM Financial, which is about to be sold due to bankruptcy. The next day, Min Kyu came to Bae-kyun's research site, the Daeyang Shipbuilding, Santa Maria Research. There, he first saw the allergy 3 robot and was interested because, finally, he could come into contact with the human form without having to suffer from allergies. Soon after, he orders Bae-kyun to send allergy 3 to his house to test his skills. After that, they will discuss the research funding agreement if he is satisfied with the robot's capabilities. The scene then changes, showing Min Kyu, who is attending a meeting at the company. At that time, Min Kyu finds out that Yoo, the development staff leader, is hiding about their subsidiary, the Daeyang Shipbuilding where Bae-kyun works. Yoo said that the place was a shipbuilding place that was bankrupt and would be sold soon. However, his words clearly differed from the facts that Min Kyu saw for himself when he visited the place. On the other hand, Bae-kyun accidentally damaged allergy 3's body parts, so it took him 2 days to repair it. Then he calls Min Kyu to ask for time without telling him that allergy 3 is damaged. Hearing this, Min Kyu tells Bae-kyun that he and his team only have 3 days before the Daeyang Shipbuilding is sold to the Bold Company from England. After that, Bae-kyun looked up the company's information and found out that the company was working in the field of patent hunters and not robot research. Then he contacted Jia, who turned out to be his ex-girlfriend and a model for allergy 3. He offers her to work with him and offers her a wage of 10,000 won. Soon after, Bae-kyun takes Jia to the research site, and she is very surprised to see that allergy 3 looks exactly like her. After that, Jia met her friend, Soon-hee, and told her about Bae-kyun's offer. However, Jia seemed to have doubts about Bae-kyun's offer, but finally, she took the offer and worked with him for 10,000 won to pay off her sister-in-law's debt. On the other hand, Min Kyu realized that his necklace had disappeared and looked very panicked. The next day, after agreeing that Jia was dressed and fitted with lenses and earphones connected to allergy 3 and Bae-kyun, and after that, she was sent to Min Kyu's house in a crate. At the same time, Min Kyu called Jia to ask about his missing necklace because she pulled his collar the other day. When the crate door was opened, Jia was surprised to see the person in front of her was Min Kyu. That almost gets Jia caught, but Bae-kyun gives Min Kyu an excuse that allergy 3 is currently in friend mode, and stupidly he believes it. Then he pressed the button on the back of Jia's neck at Bae-kyun's order, and she continued acting as the allergy 3 robot. But, suddenly, the electricity at his research site went out, making Jia confused about what she should do. Without Bae-kyun's help, Jia tries to take Min Kyu's test with her instincts until finally, she succeeds in passing the test. At the same time, her elder brother, Jinbae, and Min Kyu's secretary called Min Kyu to report that project funds at the company had been corrupted for the past 3 years by the head of social contributions. Hearing this, Min Kyu ordered Jinbae to order the head of social contribution to resign. If not, he would report to the authorities with charges of embezzlement of funds. Then he asked Jinbae to file a lawsuit against President Jo or Jia with accusations of necklace theft. After that, Min Kyu tested Jia again and asked for opinions about the person who stole his necklace. She told Min Kyu that he should have investigated before accusing her of stealing his necklace. Suddenly, Min Kyu was choked by the medicine he was taking, almost killing him. Seeing that, Jia swiftly hit Min Kyu's back, saving him. Strangely, his illness doesn't react when Jia touches him, even though she is a real human, not a robot. After that, Jia was brought back to the research area, and Bae Kyun was seen scolding her because she didn't act according to his directions, even though their plan worked. This made Jia not accept it, leaving while asking him to change Aji 3's face. On the other hand, Min Kyu is seen calling Yuchul and telling him to cancel the sale of the Daeyang shipbuilding, even though, at that time, Yuchul was meeting with the head of the Bold Company. Meanwhile, Jia finally got Min Kyu's necklace, which her sister-in-law found while washing her clothes, so she called Min Kyu to ask for his home address so she could send the necklace. After that, she went to a place to see the lamp experiment she was making. Jia apparently borrowed her sister-in-law's money to make a lamp experiment that she would show in a competition that would be held by KM Financial. However, at that time, she did not know that the company's leader was Min Kyu, and that her elder sister worked there. On the other hand, Min Kyu is still thinking about the incident this afternoon and is amazed by Aji 3. Min Kyu, who is already interested in the Aji 3 robot, intends to train it even longer. The scene changes, showing Bae Kyun, who is dizzy because one of the replacement parts for the Aji 3 robot is experiencing a delivery delay because one of his team named Hoktal incorrectly entered the shipping address and the replacement part will arrive in 5 days future. At the same time, Min Kyu called him and asked Aji 3 to be sent back to his home. Then Min Kyu tells Bae Kyun that he has postponed selling the Daeyang shipbuilding for a month because he wants to test Aji 3. However, Bae Kyun refuses to send Aji 3 again because Min Kyu had not signed their contract the other day. On the eve of his heart, Jinbae came to see Min Kyu to report that the head of social contribution had resigned. Hearing that, he ordered Jinbae to postpone all company projects and no longer need to take care of the theft of his necklace. After that, he explained his reasons for canceling the sale of the Daeyang shipbuilding because his father, Seung Jin, was initially interested in developing robots, but the project was rejected by the company. Therefore, his father made a secret agreement with Bae Kyun, and he was assigned to develop robots secretly at the Daeyang shipbuilding with the project value of 100 billion. Min Kyu then ordered Jinbae to oversee the movements of Yuchul and his father, Daewon, in the company. Jinbae agreed and would do his job as best he could. But before leaving, Min Kyu told Jinbae to do something, and it turned out that Jinbae was ordered to make a deal with Bae Kyun and his team while advising them to follow his directions, because that was the best for them at the moment. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu visiting his parents' grave, who died 15 years ago, and that day is their death anniversary. However, he was surprised by Daewon's arrival, who claimed he wanted to pay his respects. There, Daewon realized that his son's ability, namely Yuchul, was not comparable to Min Kyu's, so he asked Min Kyu to support Yuchul's performance in the company as a friend. But Min Kyu said he doesn't have such a big influence in the company as he walked away from him. On the other hand, due to Min Kyu's order to postpone all projects at KM Financial, Jia and Seung Ho went to find the home address of the owner of KM Financial to submit a letter of request to continue the project. In the end, Jia found out that the owner of the financial KM was Min Kyu, which made her nervous, and she covered her face. After returning home, Jia argued with Jinbae and slammed the lampwork. This happened because he was suspicious of the 10,000 won that Jia got one day. However, his attitude made Jia angry, so she chose to leave. But her sister-in-law, Hongjo, came out to prevent her from leaving. Suddenly, Jia got a call from the man who made her lamp art. He called her to ask for her help so that she would sell all the leftover items in his store because he was going to move places because his lease had ended. Jia then agreed, took the goods in a cart, and sold them on the road. Unfortunately, none of the goods were sold. At the same time, Min Kyu sees the company named Daeyang Shipbuilding on the list of companies to sell and sees that the company sells at a very low price. This made him think of a way out to maintain the company that his father had built. The scene changes, and Jia is seen getting a message from one of Bae Kyun's team named Sanup. He asks Jia to help them again, as Aji 3 is still not repairable. This made her think and feel that she had to do something so her lamp art could pass so she could get the money. The next day, Jia came to Bae Kyun's place and said she would accept the job for free. But he had to find her a place to live. After that, they left the Daeyang shipbuilding and took all the goods somewhere. Shortly after, two men named Miami and Alf came to the Daeyang shipbuilding. They reported to their boss that Bae Kyun's team had disappeared, causing Daewon to be confused about the questions from the leaders of the Bold Company because it turned out that Yoo Chul had not canceled the transaction with the Bold Company. On the other hand, it turns out that Bae Kyun brought all of his research items to Min Kyu's and Jia's house, hidden in a bag. Afterward, Min Kyu gave Bae Kyun and his team a new place to live in his warehouse with several conditions. It turns out that Min Kyu had planned this so that they could continue their research because he knew that the Daeyang shipbuilding was no longer safe. The next day, Jia returned to acting as Agi 3 and came to Min Kyu's house. Then he raided her and linked it to the electronics at his house because he thought Jia was a robot. Min Kyu then explained that he loved electronic goods and was ranked the highest in his house. The first item he mentioned was a back scratcher named Pretty 1. Then he pointed at Pretty 2, an old model vacuum machine, and Pretty 3, a vacuum machine that turned out to be having a birthday. Min Kyu explained it while smiling proudly. However, Jia felt strange about all of that. Then he said that Jia would get points and occupy the top ranked if she could surpass the points of these electronic items. Hearing that, Bae Kyun, who is watching from the monitor, laughs, but suddenly his stomach hurts from consuming the expired curry he ate yesterday. On the other hand, Jia ate the expired curry and had a stomachache. When she listened to Min Kyu's explanation about every room in his home, Jia finally found out that the necklace she accidentally took was Min Kyu's mother's favorite necklace. However, her stomachache was unbearable, so Jia farted near Min Kyu, and he was surprised to hear that sound. Then she reasoned that Min Kyu's pants smelled and had to change them. Fortunately, soon after, she managed to find a toilet and defecate. When finished, Jia cleaned the toilet by spraying perfume worth 1,001 so the smell wouldn't spread everywhere. But suddenly, Min Kyu went into the toilet. Because she was surprised to see him, Jia reasoned that she was cleaning the toilet, and stupidly he believed her. However, Min Kyu started to get suspicious when he saw the sweat on Jia's cheeks and intended to check it. Suddenly, he stepped on the soap on the floor, causing him to slip along with the perfume he was holding. Seeing that, she didn't stay still and caught the expensive perfume, causing it to fall right on top of Min Kyu. This made him feel hurt because Jia was wearing a corset made of titanium at that time. Because of that, Min Kyu scolded Jia because she chose to save her perfume rather than him. After that, he practices ways so that Jia can save him. But it turns out that her confused attitude makes him laugh, so she gets ranking points instead. Soon after, Min Kyu invites Jia to look into the fridge, where there are lots of fresh and expensive food ingredients. Then he teaches Jia to cook, which makes Jia, Bae Kyun, and his team interested. While Min Kyu was eating, Jia deliberately made him see KM Financial Company advertisement, and hoped that he would change his decision to continue the program that she was participating in. However, he said that if he was not interested in the art event, which was full of lies. Deep down, Jia feels mocked because her lamp art was indeed not her original work. Jia then asked Min Kyu what kind of person he was at KM Financial Company. However, Min Kyu was lazy to explain and diverted the conversation by asking Jia to help the senior vacuum cleaner who was cleaning the house. Hearing that, Jia was forced to obey even though she was annoyed. Suddenly, she accidentally dropped the card arrangement that Min Kyu had made. She panicked and said that her battery had run out. Then she pretended to be asleep so Min Kyu would not scold her. The scene then changes. Min Kyu meets Bae Kyun on the terrace outside his home to discuss Agi 3's problem. Min Kyu complains that Agi 3 can't be controlled. But at the same time, Jia and Sanap break into his house to take the leftover meat Min Kyu throws away. Seeing that, Bae Kyun tried to distract Min Kyu, so Jia and Sanap managed to get the almost expired meat. At night, they all eat the meat together, while Min Kyu is looking for a way to train wild dogs because he thinks that it can be applied to Agi 3, which is the method Bae Kyun suggested. The next day, Min Kyu scolded Jia while explaining that the card arrangement she broke yesterday was precious to him because he made it 15 years ago. Not long after, Yoo Chul came to his house, thus saving her from Min Kyu's anger. Then Min Kyu told Jia to hide so Yoo Chul wouldn't see her. After that, Yoo Chul asked his reason for canceling the sale of the Daeyang shipbuilding company. Min Kyu said that even if he was paid double the price, he would still refuse to sell the company. Min Kyu didn't even care if Yoo Chul got angry. When Yoo Chul left, he looked out the window where Jia was observing them. Afterward, Min Kyu told her to look at Daewon and Yoo Chul's faces. Soon after, Jia was asked to avoid them because those two people were his biggest enemies. Not long after, it was Jinbei's turn to come to Min Kyu's house. Jia was then told to prepare coffee for them. She finally found out that her elder brother worked as head of investigation at Min Kyu's company. Luckily, he could not see her identity, so Jinbei would not find out about her. The scene then changed. Shows Jia, who was invited by Min Kyu to a place to meet someone. While on the way, she took the initiative to change lanes towards the masses who were demonstrating to beg KM Financial to continue the competition they were participating in. However, Jia finally finds out that the head of social contribution of KM Financial has embezzled the event funds, making Min Kyu not intend to continue the competition. So Min Kyu met Seung Tai, who is Yuri's father. Yuri herself is Min Kyu's childhood friend. They met to discuss investing in game companies, but Min Kyu refused because KM Financial Company was not for investing but for buying and selling. Before he left, Seung Tae said that his daughter would arrive in Korea tomorrow. On the way home, Min Kyu told Jia that his parent had died in a car accident 15 years ago. When she saw him gloomy, she took the initiative to change her mode to friend mode to cheer him up. On the other hand, Yoo was shown a video of the allergy 3 robot research, so he knew that the Daeyang shipbuilding company was engaged in robot research and not building ships as he had thought. Besides that, it turned out that Daewon had deliberately concealed the research facts so that Min Kyu would not take over the research against him. Since Min Kyu's parents died, Daewon has tried to take over the KM Financial Company, including the robot research that Min Kyu's father built, because he has a 70% stake while Daewon's family only owns 30%. The next day, Yuri finally arrived at Min Kyu's house, and she said she was appointed by Yoo as the new head of social contribution at Min Kyu's company. She said that her father had set her up with Min Kyu, and she confidently said that she would accept him as her husband if he wanted to give her his first kiss on a date later. On the other hand, Jia is watching Yuri from a distance. She feels jealous of Yuri because she has a lot of work experience. Soon after, Yuri held Min Kyu's hand and made him finally go into the house because his skin began to change. It turned out that Yuri's touch made Min Kyu's disease react more severely than before, so Jia injected the medicine into his body. The scene changed, showing Min Kyu's life years ago. When he was little, it was seen that his life was very pleasant, but that situation changed when his family had an accident that killed his parents. Since then, Daewon started planning to take over all the companies Min Kyu's family owned. But someone named Madam X protected Min Kyu by giving him a letter. In the letter, Madam X advised Min Kyu that he should not sign anything and not answer anything, so he could avoid Daewon's trap. On the other hand, Daewon is trying to get Min Kyu to sign the dossier on the ownership of KM Financial Company by ordering his sons to provide the dossier combined with the burial certificate. Since then, Min Kyu got a strange skin disease after Yoo held his hand while giving Daewon a file that was left with him. Because of that, Min Kyu chose to listen to Madam X's advice rather than Daewon's. After getting the disease, he decided to live in his house alone rather than join Daewon. The scene then changes, showing Min Kyu finally waking up and his skin disease healing faster than usual. He thanked Jia, who quickly injected him with medicine but was angry again because she injected him too much. Jia then left the place and accidentally saw the action figure that she bought the other day was completely stained with sauce. She realized that Min Kyu had not lied to her. After that, Jia returns to the research area, but Bai Kyun scolds her for getting too close to Min Kyu and leaves without him knowing. Bai Kyun looks jealous of their closeness there because he knows that Jia is an allergy 3. The scene changes, showing Jia meeting Seung Ho to tell her about her experience as a robot at Min Kyu's house. At the same time, the necklace package that she sent finally arrived. Then he calls Jia to ask if her necklace is okay. After that, she discusses their plan to put in an application form for KM Financial to continue their race. On the other hand, Yoo showed allergy 3's video to Jinbae, and he was surprised to see that allergy 3's face was very similar to his younger sister's, so that he feels confused about the problems where he works. He is still confused between following Yoo or staying on Min Kyu's side. In the afternoon, Min Kyu came to the research site out of curiosity about allergy 3. Luckily, he doesn't know Jia's whereabouts because it turns out that Bai Kyun has installed a tracking device on his cell phone. So Bai Kyun blocks Min Kyu to make him not know their secret. After the other team members sleep, Bai Kyun and P view the footage of Min Kyu dying from an allergy. They are confused about his illness and do not understand. On the other hand, it looks like Jinbae can't sleep because he's still confused about allergy 3. He finds out that Jia used to date Bai Kyun, while Bai Kyun seems to be starting to have feelings for her again. The next day, Min Kyu asks Jia to open the necklace package she sent while saying he will give the necklace to the right woman one day. Meanwhile, Yuri is seen starting to work at KM Finance and meets Yoo. It can be seen that he has feelings for her. At the same time, Jinbae comes to see Bai Kyun to ask him to change the face of allergy 3's robot. Jinbae asked why Jia and Bai Kyun broke up and explained that after they broke up, Jia's character changed. Hearing that, Bai Kyun feels that Jia still has feelings for him. On the other hand, Jia is with Min Kyu, who says he wants to be normal. They both almost kiss when Min Kyu says he wants to touch the woman he will marry one day. After that, he reopened the box he kept while looking at all the letters Yuri sent every year and put his necklace in a box. The scene changes, showing Jia seeing her request letter have arrived at Min Kyu's house. But unfortunately, he doesn't read the letter and instead invites her to go somewhere. On the other hand, it seems that Bai Kyun and P are looking at the footage when Min Kyu almost kisses Jia, which makes him jealous. Then he orders P to get Jia out of Min Kyu's house. However, it turns out that Jia is being taken somewhere by Min Kyu. Knowing that, Bai Kyun did not remain silent and tracked down Min Kyu's whereabouts and then chased him. So, Min Kyu asked Jia to accompany him on a date with Yuri. At that place, Jia was ordered by Min Kyu to prepare Yuri's favorite drink using the glass she gave him 15 years ago. But unfortunately, their first date failed because Yuri was not like the older he knew 15 years ago, so he refused the marriage and chose to remain friends with her. Even so, Min Kyu still gave Yuri a necklace left by his mother, and she agreed with that decision because, from the start, she wasn't interested in their match. However, Yuri did not accept the necklace from Min Kyu because she felt that the necklace was not something she should accept. Then they shook hands in agreement with the friendship, and that made Min Kyu's illness begin to appear. After Yuri left, Min Kyu took his necklace, intending to throw it away because he was disappointed with her attitude. But luckily, Jia stopped and calmed him. Suddenly, it made the rash on his skin disappear slowly. Then he took Jia home while explaining his reasons for refusing his match with Yuri because of his illness. However, Min Kyu was confused that the rash on his skin disappeared without injecting the drug. Plus, when someone bumped into him, his skin didn't react. Knowing that makes him happy because his disease has been cured. Then he took Jia to the crowd to ensure the disease was cured. When they were in a crowd, Min Kyu felt happy for the first time in his life. Jia then invited Min Kyu to enjoy the atmosphere in the crowd. It turned out that his illness did not recur, so he reported the symptoms he was experiencing to his doctor, Dr. Oh. But just when Min Kyu called Dr. Oh, the rash on his skin suddenly reappeared after a woman bumped into him. Then he realized his illness could get better if he was close to Jia. Soon after, he hugs Jia and kisses her forehead in the crowd. Suddenly, Baekhyun arrives and hits Min Kyu. Seeing that, Jia was confused. Then she reasons that her battery has run out, so they stop fighting. Afterward, Baekhyun takes Jia with him and intends to take her back to her elder brother's house. He said their contracts had ended, so Jia no longer needed to work with them. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu reporting what happened to Dr. Oh. Soon after, Dr. Oh tells him to record all the important events when he was with his robot so that he can research the cause of the rash and can be cured. At the same time, the replacement part for Agi 3 that Baekhyun ordered has now arrived. Meanwhile, Jia didn't dare appear in front of her elder brother, so she decided to go to the sauna and stay there. But at that place, Jia instead thought about the incident when she was with Min Kyu, as well as Min Kyu, who kept thinking about Jia while continuing to talk to Dr. Oh. After hearing Min Kyu's explanation, Dr. Oh concluded that his illness had disappeared because of a trusting relationship between him and his robot. Meanwhile, Baekhyun keeps thinking about what happened between Min Kyu and Jia. Then he leaves when he gets a message from P that they found a problem. Unbeknownst to Baekhyun, Miami and L follow him and find his hideout. When he arrived at his research site, Baekhyun looked back at the recording of when Min Kyu was about to kiss Jia. He finally decided not to continue working with Min Kyu anymore and would look for other investors. Hearing that, Sanup, Hoktal, and P agree with Baekhyun's decision because they don't want their robot to be used as a medium to vent Min Kyu's perverted nature. Deep down, actually, Baekhyun doesn't want Jia to be close to him. On the other hand, Yuri met Yuchul to ask him for a drink while telling him that Min Kyu refused to go out with her. Hearing that, he was happy, but suddenly Min Kyu called Yuri and said he would go out with her. Because of that, Yuri cancelled her invitation to Yuchul. When Yuri returned to her room, she accidentally saw Jia's application form, and she was interested in the form. On the other hand, Jia daydreams about Min Kyu, thus ignoring Soonhee. An annoyed Soonhee tries to make fun of Min Kyu. Hearing that, Jia defends him. Not long after, she finds out from KM Finance that they will continue evaluating her lamp, which makes her happy because she has a reason to return to Min Kyu's house. The scene changes, showing Baekhyun meeting Min Kyu to say he will break the contract because he doesn't want Agi 3 to get a perverted owner like Min Kyu. After that, he goes with P to find new investors, but unfortunately, no one is interested in their robot. On the other hand, Jia arrives at the gate of Min Kyu's house and calls P because she wants to get her suitcase. P then tells her to wait at the gate because Sanup will deliver her luggage. However, Min Kyu's maid sees Jia, then takes her inside. Sanup, who saw Jia being brought into Min Kyu's house, reported it to Baekhyun. In the end, she returned to meet Min Kyu, and he said that Jia must belong to him. Even he said that no matter what happened, he would try to protect Jia from Baekhyun, which amazed her. Shortly after, Min Kyu meets Sanup and Hoktal and tries to bribe them with lots of checks. But P comes and refuses the checks and then intends to drag them away from Min Kyu's presence. However, Min Kyu didn't give up. He offered another offer to the three of them. Unfortunately, P still refused. That makes him confused. What other way should he do so they don't cancel the contract? Jia then suggests that Min Kyu cook food that Baekhyun likes, and he tries her suggestion and cooks the food himself. But while cooking, Min Kyu scratched his finger with a knife. When Jia wants to help him, he refuses because that's what he has to do to protect her. Seeing that made her amazed again by his attitude. On the other hand, P, Sanup, and Hoktal plan to take on Jia, while Baekhyun cannot join because he is still looking for other investors. Then they accepted the invitation to dinner that Min Kyu had prepared. Soon after, Jia advised Min Kyu to change his attitude so he could be close to the three of them. They started to talk about their respective parents, but they were shocked and sympathetic after hearing that Min Kyu's parents had died in an accident. Afterward, Jia confronts P and begs the team not to leave Min Kyu. But P says they can't argue with Bae Kyun's decision. Before leaving, Sanup and Hoktal repaired Min Kyu's favorite vacuum machine, and when finished, he hugged and kissed his favorite vacuum machine in front of the three of them. Seeing that, P, Sanup, and Hoktal finally understand that Min Kyu is not a pervert, and can understand his attitude towards AG3 or Jia. As a token of their gratitude, they decided to spend the evening together. The next day, Min Kyu wakes up alone, and Jinbae soon reports that Bae Kyun has been slandered by his co-workers, so his reputation as a professor has become bad. Hearing this, Min Kyu meets Bae Kyun and says he will try to restore his reputation. But Bae Kyun refuses because he wants to restore his reputation with his own strength. Min Kyu then holds Bae Kyun's hand, which makes his room appear, but that can't make him change his mind and stay. Then he took AG3 and his colleagues away from Min Kyu's house. But when on the way, Bae Kyun felt confused when he remembered when Min Kyu showed his illness. He couldn't ignore his title as professor. Moreover, Jia and AG3 played an important role in helping Min Kyu recover. So Bae Kyun decided to return, making Min Kyu and Jia happy again. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu picking up Jia because he doesn't want her battery to run out quickly. Arriving home, he said to Jia that he needed a kiss, making her feel her heart was jolting. But Min Kyu then mentioned Yuri's name and said he had to learn to kiss women so his date with Yuri could run smoothly. Jia, initially nervous because she was happy, had to hide her jealousy. Soon after, Jia talks about Min Kyu's wishes for Bae Kyun and his team. Because Bae Kyun doesn't want Jia to become Min Kyu's experimental material, he tries to take over the matter. Then he brings Seung Ho to pretend to be a romance expert known as the Goddess of Kiss so that Min Kyu makes her as a learning tool. But she instead tried to make Min Kyu and Jia closer because she knew that Jia had feelings for Min Kyu. The second date between Yuri and Min Kyu has come. Suddenly, Bae Kyun went with the excuse of accompanying Jia when Min Kyu was dating Yuri later. This obviously annoyed Min Kyu and Jia. Then he took Yuri to the place he had visited with Jia before. He did what he had done to Jia before, but Yuri didn't like it. Not far away, Miami and Alf are monitoring them on Mutual's orders and are surprised to see a robot AG3 that can eat ice cream. Meanwhile, Sanup asked Hoktal to accompany him to Seung Hee's place. It turns out that Sanup falls in love with Seung Hee at first sight, but it seems she is actually interested in Hoktal. Not long after, Yuri got a call from Mutual and intended to meet him, but she left Min Kyu alone. At the same time, Bae Kyun buys an umbrella seeing that it will rain soon. Unfortunately, he was stuck in a long queue, so Min Kyu covered Jia with the umbrella he had brought. Jia realizes that the umbrella is the result of her crazy idea. It was made by Bae Kyun when they were dating and won a competition at Min Kyu's company. Min Kyu himself praises the genius who made such an umbrella and hopes to meet him one day. His words amazed Jia, but suddenly someone bumped into her, making her almost fall. Fortunately, he hugged her. Jia, who had been carried away, unconsciously kissed Min Kyu's lips and surprised him. Then he is mad at Jia because a robot stole the first kiss he was supposed to give Yuri. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu both angry and happy with AG3's attitude yesterday. He thinks maybe AG3 kissed him for doing what she has learned. Because he was curious, he went to the research site to see AG3. Then he asked P whether a robot can learn about emotion. P then explained that AG3 might be able to react as if the robot had emotions and do it without waiting for commands. Hearing her explanation makes Min Kyu think AG3 is a very sophisticated robot. Meanwhile, Jia feels the same way and decides to tell Min Kyu that she is human when the test ends. The scene switches to show Min Kyu calling Dr. Oh and tells everything that happened, except for the kissing scene with AG3. Hearing that, Dr. Oh is happy with Min Kyu's recovery and life. He apparently has a patient who has the same disease as Min Kyu. He saw his patient improve after the nurse who had been taking care of him all this time became his girlfriend. Meanwhile, Bae Kyun is seen talking to P. He intended to improve his attitude, so he could get back together with Jia. Unfortunately, he doesn't realize that P has feelings for him. But P instead advises him to remember his mistakes with Jia in the past and learn from those mistakes. The next morning, Min Kyu asked Jia about yesterday's incident, but she acted as if she didn't remember it. Hearing that annoyed him. Not long after, Seung Hee came. Min Kyu then told Seung Hee of his frustration because Jia had stolen his first kiss, but after that, she forgot about it. Seung Hee then suggests he go alone with Yuri so that their first kiss is successful. However, when he imagines Seung Hee's suggestion, Jia always appears in his mind. Then Seung Hee told Min Kyu not to take Jia on a date, but that was impossible because he couldn't go anywhere without Jia, which made him even more annoyed. After that, Min Kyu tries the same thing to get Jia to remember what happened that night, but Jia chooses not to talk about it, making him even more upset. Min Kyu feels unfair because only he remembers that important moment. Then he punishes Jia by ordering her to clean up the whole house. In that room, Jia saw again that Min Kyu had not read the letter she had sent the other day. When Jia was cleaning the window, Bae Kyun saw her and couldn't stay silent when he knew that Jia was being treated like that. He tries to replace her job, then Min Kyu orders her to clean the umbrella. Seeing that, Bae Kyun precedes him because the umbrella is his creation. However, Min Kyu doesn't believe it because Bae Kyun can't possibly have such a good idea, and Jia is again flattered because Min Kyu complimented her idea. That night, Min Kyu is seen visiting a research site and interacting with Agi-3. But there, Agi-3 answered all his questions with the same answers as P and Bae Kyun said. This made Min Kyu feel he had only interacted with all the input from them. Then he returns home disappointed and realizes that Agi-3 is just a robot, and that being with Agi-3 has only been a fake memory. Because of that, he decided to treat Agi-3 like treating a robot. Elsewhere, Seung-tae is seen meeting Daewon. At that place, he asked Seung-tae to make Yoo his son-in-law and said that soon Yoo would become the largest shareholder and the company's main director. Daewon even said that he would get rid of Min Kyu from the company during the biggest stock gathering meeting later. But Seung-tae refused the offer because he had promised the late Min Kyu's father to support Min Kyu no matter what. After that, Seung-tae left the room. At the same time, Jinbae is seen looking for someone named Dongsa. The man is the former driver of Min Kyu's late father. Meanwhile, Min Kyu keeps his promise to restore Bae Kyun's reputation with an article that has been prepared, and will be released when the Agi-3 tests are over. They then celebrated by partying at Soon-hee's tavern. Suddenly, Soon-hee, the romance expert, realizes that there is a confusing relationship between them. P likes Bae Kyun, but he likes Jia, while Jia likes Min Kyu. On the other hand, Soon-hee didn't realize that she was interested in Hoktal, even though Sanup liked her. Then she made a challenge: if all the fingers were folded by something that she mentioned, then that person would invite the person whose fingers were folded to go out to buy ice cream. Soon-hee deliberately made P and Bae Kyun's fingers fold, and they left her shop. After that, Soon-hee took Sanup and Hoktal out, leaving Jia with Min Kyu. In a half-drunk state, Min Kyu folds his fingers while expressing his feeling that he cannot live without Agi-3. His confession touched Jia's heart, and she liked him even more. The next day, Bae Kyun and his team finished repairing Agi-3, but Agi-3 still couldn't control its mobility to follow Jia's movements. So Bae Kyun will perfect that robot in 4 days, meaning that is Jia's remaining time to disguise herself as a robot. So after everything was over, they would all just tell Min Kyu their secret, that the one who had accompanied him all this time was Jia. The scene changed, showing Jia, who was invited by Min Kyu to meet Yuri and her father. Their meeting was to discuss an arranged marriage between them. Min Kyu said that he wanted them to get engaged first before getting married, but Yuri didn't seem to agree with that. Even so, Seung-tae forced his daughter to accept it. Then Min Kyu thanked Yuri for the birthday card she had sent, but her reaction showed that the letters she had been sending were from her father. While on the way home, Min Kyu was seen treating Jia like a robot. He said he would reset her program after the test was over, even though he still hopes that Jia, whom he thinks is Agi-3, is human. Hearing that made Jia feel guilty and sad because she had entered his life. The scene then changes, showing Jia in the middle of taking her nephew to the hospital because he suffers from allergies. Then she meets Dr. Oh, who happens to be handling her nephew. She asks Dr. Oh, does anyone have allergies caused by human touch? Hearing that, Dr. Oh said that if the disease exists and can be cured when the sufferer gets someone who really can be trusted. He said that after seeing his patient the other day. On the other hand, Jinbae can be seen getting a call from Dongsa, the former driver of Min Kyu's late father, whom he is looking for. Dongsa said he would send all the videos to Min Kyu if he could remove Daewon from the company. After that, Jinbae was summoned to Daewon's room, and he asked Jinbae to side with him. Daewon then explained that soon Min Kyu would be fired from the KM Financial Company. Knowing that made Jinbae again in a dilemma of whether to side with Daewon or remain loyal to Min Kyu. Soon after, Daewon ordered his men to look for Dongsa because he already knew that Min Kyu was currently looking for his whereabouts. It turned out that Dongsa had evidence of Daewon's bad attitude all along. Not to forget, Daewon ordered his men to find Agi-3. His men then met Miami and Alf to ask them about the situation. Alf said Agi-3 could eat like a human, but what he saw was Jia. The scene changes, showing Bae Kyun taking Jia out for dinner, hoping to get her back. At that place, Jia started to tell him why she decided to break up. The reason was that Bae Kyun was too busy with his research, so he didn't have time for her. Even when she wanted to tell a story, Bae Kyun was never around, and her ideas were always considered useless by him. On the other hand, Jinbae reported everything he could to Min Kyu about Daewon, who knew about the tapes owned by Dongsa. Then he gave all of his IDs and passwords so that Jinbae could access all financial KM data so that Jinbae would be freer to investigate Daewon's fraud. Before leaving, Jinbae apologizes for doubting him. The scene then changes, showing Bae Kyun surprising Jia with the help of Sanup, Hoktal, and P. They then said they would help Jia win the competition she was about to participate in, as well as fix the lamp that Jinbae had broken. At the same time, Min Kyu finally read the petition letter that Jia made, and he was touched when reading the letter. The day of the competition held by KM Financial has finally come. It can be seen that Yoo took part in the event, while Jia disguised herself so that Min Kyu and Jinbae would not recognize her. But unfortunately, her disguise was easily spotted by Jinbae. When Yoo was about to give a speech at the event's opening, he saw Min Kyu watching him on the top stand. During the event, no one was interested in Jia's light stand, which made her sad. But suddenly, the shadow of her father appeared, making her enthusiasm return. And she kept trying so that the light would be surrounded by the audience that would later judge her. Soon after, Bae Ki-yoon comes to the place and tells Jinbae that Jia has a unique and passionate mind. Hearing Bae Ki-yoon's words make Jinbae's suspicions turn into pride for her. After the event was over, Yoo Chul visited the booths of the participants one by one, including Jia and Min Kyu. However, it turned out that they came to Jia's stand. Min Kyu then quipped whether the lamp could be given to a friend who always makes him suffer. Hearing that, Jia remembered when Min Kyu told her to remember the faces of Yoo Chul and Daewon, and said that he should have left his friend and met a new friend. Min Kyu then tested the lamp, and suddenly Jia's shadow, when she became Agi 3, appeared in front of him, making him even more confused. At the same time, his illness was cured. Soon after, Bae Ki-yoon tells Jia of his past mistakes to Jinbae and intends to ask Jinbae for help so he can get back together with Jia. However, Jinbae chose not to interfere in their love affairs. He asked Bae Ki-yoon to keep Jia a secret for a while so as not to disturb Min Kyu's mind. Jinbae says that currently, Min Kyu is maintaining Bae Ki-yoon's team and Daeyang shipbuilding a loan from Daewon, who will sell them to the Bold Company. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu meeting Dr. Oh and hugging him, saying that his illness had healed when he held the lamp and saw Agi 3. However, Dr. Oh advises him not to be with Agi 3 anymore because he will soon marry Yuri. Then Dr. Oh asks Min Kyu to forget Agi 3 and think of it as a way out of his 15-year illness because Agi 3 is just a robot that can't accompany him until he's old. When Min Kyu left, Jia came to see Dr. Oh and intends to ask again about the disease that she asked about the other day. Dr. Oh showed a video of his patient who had the same disease as Min Kyu, and Jia cried seeing the video because she knew she would be separated from him. She again asked if someone could recover with the robot's help, which made Dr. Oh suspicious. Then he asked if Jia knew Bae Ki-yoon. The scene changes, showing Min Kyu inviting Bae Ki-yoon to drink at a cafe to discuss his recovery. At that place, he is grateful because he can recover thanks to the robot created by Bae Ki-yoon. At the same time, Jia brought Dr. Oh to Bae Ki-yoon's research site. Then Dr. Oh was surprised to see that Agi 3's face was very similar to Jia's. He gets angry and asks where Bae Ki-yoon is, while Bae Ki-yoon sees Min Kyu crying while saying that he can't forget his feelings for Agi 3. After returning to his research site, Bae Ki-yoon is met by Jia, who expresses her disappointment at him for having the heart to send her even though she already knew that Min Kyu had an allergy to humans. Jia feels that Bae Ki-yoon is only using her to get the 50 million investment Min Kyu promised. She is afraid that Min Kyu's situation will worsen when he finds out the robot in front of him is her. Then P tries to explain that Jia has misunderstood. But she doesn't want to hear any explanation and leaves the place. Outside, Miami and Alf, who is monitoring, sees Jia leaving Bae Ki-yoon's research area, so they follow her and find information that Agi 3 has been at Jinbae's house all this time. On the other hand, Bae Ki-yoon looks back at the recording of Jia acting as Agi 3. After that, he contacts her and regrets what he did. But Jia feels that the mistake was not only caused by Bae Ki-yoon. Therefore she decides to tell everything to Min Kyu, and Bae Ki-yoon agrees with her decision because they have to end the lies they have made. Meanwhile, Min Kyu orders Agi 3 to come to his house, and this time the real Agi 3 meets him. Then he revealed that he couldn't do anything about his feelings. He cried sadly because Agi 3's test would soon be over, and he could no longer hold back his sadness because he could not face his feelings for Agi 3. The scene changes, showing Bae Ki-yoon and Jia on their way, intending to tell Min Kyu everything. However, Dr. Oh calls and forbids them after he gets news that the patient he treated before has now died after being lied to by his partner. He told them to find another way so that Min Kyu would not experience the same thing. Sometime later, Bae Ki-yoon informs Min Kyu and says they should reset the Agi 3 program back to its original settings, and Min Kyu agrees with his suggestion. However, Jia is forced to disguise herself as Agi 3 again to meet Min Kyu, and spend some time together before he resets the Agi 3 program. After that, they told each other they were happy. Soon after, Min Kyu even gave Jia his late mother's necklace. Even though it felt very hard, he finally resets the Agi 3 and Jia programs while saying he really loved her. After that sad incident, Jia fell ill due to holding back her sadness for so long. While Min Kyu is now changing his life and starting to mingle with the employees at his company. He looks happy even though his employees are very scared when they see him. The scene then changed, showing Min Kyu assisted by Jinbae collecting all the company files he was going to investigate. Then he asked about Dongse's whereabouts, but Jinbae didn't get any information yet. Not long after, Madam X sent an email regarding the accumulation of shares Daewon had obtained for terminating Min Kyu. Seeing that, Min Kyu naturally thought he should get the recording from Dongse as soon as possible. When Min Kyu came home, he was surprised to see Bae Ki-yoon's team cooking in his kitchen. They did that because, previously, Jia asked not to leave Min Kyu alone. After that, he ate their food, and they played a game of red light and green light. But at that time, Min Kyu still imagined Agi 3 was in front of him. The scene then changed. Min Kyu was seen checking the list of action figures that had just been released, so he contacted President Jo, none other than Jia, to buy the action figure. But Jia said she couldn't buy the action figure because she would go somewhere far. Jia then hung up the phone and then cried sadly, and it turned out that Bae Kyun heard the conversation from outside her room. Sometime later, Jia recovered and got a passport to go to Australia. She told her sister-in-law and her nephew her intentions. After that, she went back to working part-time, so she could raise money to buy plane tickets. On the other hand, Yoo suddenly changed his mind and asked his father not to sell the Daeyeong shipbuilding to the Bold Company. But his father insisted on selling the company so that Yoo could replace Min Kyu's position. Even so, he still refused and left his father's room. It turned out that Yoo overheard Daewon and his men's conversation about the secret of Min Kyu's father's death that Dongsa kept. On the other hand, Min Kyu fails to meet with Dongsa because Daewon's men hunt him. Knowing that his plan failed, Min Kyu and Jinbae will carry out another plan he had prepared. The scene then changes, showing Min Kyu accompanying Yuri to try on the clothes she will wear at their engagement later. But she realized that Min Kyu was just forced and made her remember Yoo, without Min Kyu realizing that Jia was in the same place and was sending a package to the boutique. Fortunately, Jia managed to leave before Min Kyu realized it. She felt that he had now forgotten Agi 3 and living a happy life. The next day, the meeting of the shareholders of the KM Financial Company began. It can be seen that Min Kyu issued his backup plan, namely, bringing Bae Kyun's team to the company higher up. Min Kyu said Bae Kyun's team was producing robots and not building ships like Daewon had been hiding all this time. Finally, his plan made Yoo resign from the company to protect his father's reputation. After the meeting was over, Yoo expressed his disappointment at Min Kyu because all this time, he had not left Min Kyu, but Min Kyu had left him. Min Kyu said Yoo had left him 15 years ago when he handed him the company ownership certificate. When he got home, Min Kyu received the lamp that Jia promised him, which made him remember Agi 3 again. Not long after, Bae Kyun sent a message to Min Kyu and said they intended to change Agi 3's face. This made him go to Bae Kyun and ask Bae Kyun not to change Agi 3's face because he missed her so much. Min Kyu then brings Agi 3 to his house and tries to do the same thing as when they first met. He hopes it can bring Agi 3 back, and he is very sorry for resetting the Agi 3 program. Unfortunately, his efforts are unsuccessful because Agi 3 is not Jia who has been accompanying him. The next day, Min Kyu met Yuri to discuss their engagement. However, he decided not to continue, and that decision certainly relieved Yuri. Then they returned to being friends as usual. Soon after, Min Kyu went to work by train and confessed to Jinbae that he just wanted to get some fresh air. However, it turns out that Jia is at the same station and train as him, and the meeting certainly surprises them both. On the other hand, Jia said she wants to stay in her sister-in-law's hometown and will live with her grandmother before she goes to Australia. But she instead meets Min Kyu, so she is forced to act as if she doesn't know him, and Min Kyu himself can't do anything but daydream looking at her face. When he arrived at his destination, Min Kyu decided to buy another ticket to follow Jia and cancel his job. Then he calls Bae Kyun to ask about Agi 3's face model, but Bae Kyun reasons that he made Agi 3 based on the model of a part-time woman who currently can't be contacted anymore. Min Kyu requests that Bae Kyun introduce him to Agi 3's model someday, but Bae Kyun tells him not to meet her and that it's better to ignore her, fearing that Min Kyu will act strange in front of her. Shortly after, Bae Kyun calls Jia to ensure they don't see each other. Unfortunately, her phone is unreachable. Then he went to a place to meet Yoo, and Yoo then showed him the photo of Jia he got from Miami. Seeing that, Bae Kyun calmly said that Jia was just a model for Agi 3. Then Yoo asked if the woman who met Min Kyu was Jia or Agi 3. Hearing the question, Bae Kyun acted as if he didn't understand what Yoo meant, and left the place. On the other hand, P finds a strange protected folder that is huge and cannot be deleted from her computer. Not long after, Miami disguised himself as the room designer Bae Kyun's team had been waiting for. He then inserts a flash drive containing a virus connected to the computers of the hackers that Yoo has hired. Meanwhile, Jia arrived at her grandmother's house, which had a place to eat and lodging. She worked there to divert her mind from Min Kyu. Without her knowing it, Min Kyu continues to follow her wherever she goes until finally, he dares to appear in front of her. However, Jia continued to act as if she didn't recognize Min Kyu, and told him to leave. Soon after, Min Kyu ordered food to buy time so he could get acquainted with Jia. Then she prepares food, hides her necklace between the plates and informs Bae Kyun that Min Kyu is following her. At the same time, Bae Kyun and his team were fighting against Yoo's hired hackers. Fortunately, one by one, they give up cause they can't save it. Fortunately, Bae Kyun's team's important files were safe for the time being, and after collecting some evidence, Bae Kyun finally found out who the mastermind behind the attack was. The scene then changes. Yoo is seen meeting Yuri at a cafe. There, she expressed her disappointment with him because of his bad character. Yuri then came home and said she didn't want to continue her match with Min Kyu, but her father insisted. Sometime after she left, Yoo received news that the hackers he hired had started to give up, making him angry. Meanwhile, Min Kyu was waiting for Jia with food still intact in front of him. Jia then asked his intention to follow her. At the same time, Baek-hyun read messages from Jia and tried to contact her, but she could not be contacted. Afterward, Baek-hyun calls Dr. Oh to tell him about Jia and Min Kyu's meeting. Dr. Oh then orders Jia to keep their secret forever. Meanwhile, Min Kyu explained why he followed Jia by saying he had recently lost a friend who looked like her. She was stunned to hear his words but acted as if she didn't recognize Min Kyu for his own good. However, because Min Kyu persisted, Jia finally admitted that she was the model for allergy 3 but not the allergy 3 he knew. After that, she told Min Kyu to leave, but he begged to stay to see her face, forcing Jia to drag him outside. On the other hand, Baek-hyun is seen trying to catch up with Min Kyu, accompanied by P, who insists on accompanying him because she doesn't want him to experience difficulties alone. The scene again shows Jia calling Soon-hee, but Min Kyu suddenly appears, which surprises them. Min Kyu realized the first time Jia met him was when she disguised herself as allergy 3. Besides that, he was allowed to enter because he rented a room from his grandmother. Not long after, Baek-hyun called Min Kyu, told him not to be too overbearing towards his robot model, and then hung up on him. Min Kyu then called Jinbae to ask if Jinbae knew who the model of the allergy 3 robot was. Unfortunately, he kept Jia a secret from Min Kyu. At the same time, one of the remaining hackers manages to break in and copy the files that can't be deleted. Meanwhile, the car that Baek-hyun is driving suddenly breaks down in the middle of the road. On the other hand, Jia's grandmother asked Min Kyu to accompany Jia to the warehouse to get something. Hearing that, he wouldn't waste the opportunity to keep looking at her face, and he said yes. After that, Min Kyu begins to recall his memories with allergy 3. But when they were looking for things in the warehouse, someone locked the door, thinking the warehouse was empty and trapped them inside. On the other hand, P cannot contact them because there is no signal in the warehouse. Shortly after, P tells Baek-hyun to rest and repair his car tomorrow morning. Then she asks if Baek-hyun is okay with Jia and Min Kyu's relationship. He said that he had accepted Jia's departure when he saw there was nothing they could do to fix their relationship. At this time, he only wanted to save Min Kyu, who he considered as his brother. Baek-hyun said that although it hurts, the pain is not comparable to what Jia and Min Kyu are feeling now. While Baek-hyun is asleep, P repairs the car alone. At the same time, Min Kyu and Jia spent time together telling stories. Then Min Kyu told what he felt while he was with allergy 3. Jia, who heard his story, felt happy but sad. That night they all spent the time until morning came. The scene then changes, showing Yoo Chol's hacker successfully breaking into allergy 3's password folder and getting a secret video that Yoo Chol can use to get rid of Min Kyu. At the same time, Yuri again worked up the courage to cancel her engagement with Min Kyu, but her father insisted on setting them up, leaving Yuri speechless. Not long after, Baek-hyun and P arrived at Jia's place and were going to take Min Kyu home. However, Jia's grandmother actually got the news that her friend had an accident, so she left Jia to look after the shop alone. Just as they are about to leave, a swarm of customers arrives and overwhelms Jia. Soon after, they took the initiative to help Jia serve customers, and she took the necklace she was hiding. Elsewhere, Yoo Chol meets Jinbae and says he found something related to Jia that made Jinbae speechless. Even so, Jinbae kept trying to protect her little sister by calling Min Kyu, and intending to tell him that the model from allergy 3 was her little sister. But Min Kyu instead hung up on him and was going to call Jinbae back after he finished eating. On the other hand, Yoo Chol is seen meeting his father and saying that he will take back his seat, and Daewon can gather the board of directors to fire Min Kyu. Meanwhile, Haktal and Sanip finally realized that the folder on the stolen computer was made by allergy 3. The folder was created because of Jia's wish when Min Kyu was about to reset allergy 3's program, and the folder contains all the videos when Jia disguised herself as allergy 3. When Baek-hyun and P were shopping, Sanip and Haktal reported that the allergy 3 folder had been broken into. That made Baek-hyun rush back. But unfortunately, he didn't find Min Kyu in the car. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Daewon has received a flash drive containing a video showing Min Kyu dying from his illness, and the video will be used by him to get rid of Min Kyu. On the other hand, Min Kyu had returned to the shop to meet Jia, but someone said she had just gone to the beach carrying all her things. Then Min Kyu rushed to see her, who was crying. Seeing him coming surprised her, making her forget to hide her necklace. This made Min Kyu finally realize that all this time, allergy 3, who had always been with him, was Jia. And suddenly, the rash on his body reappeared because now he knows that Jia and Baek-hyun's team have lied to him. Day by day, Min Kyu was dying because he was holding back pain that was getting worse than before. Luckily, Baek-hyun injected medicine and then brought him home, assisted by Dr. Oh. Baek-hyun's team and Jia certainly feel very guilty because what they feared has come true. After receiving treatment from Dr. Oh and being helped by his memories with Jia, Min Kyu finally made it through the critical period. On the other hand, Daewon meets with Baek-hyun's team to talk about the test video he got in an article that cornered Min Kyu. He will distribute the article so he can get rid of Min Kyu from the company. Then he agreed with Baek-hyun's team to exchange information and videos he stole with allergy 3 and Baek-hyun without hesitation signing the agreement. Forcefully, Baekhyun is willing to let go of AG3 and join Daewon so that Min Kyu won't be fired from his company because, for them, Min Kyu's recovery and safety are more important right now. Min Kyu, who has regained consciousness, is seen limping toward the kitchen. Jia, who is wearing a medical uniform, intends to help him, but she is afraid that his illness will react. Dr. Oh then met with Baekhyun's team and Jinbae to tell them that Min Kyu managed to get through his critical period. Hearing that news relieves them. After that, Jinbae came to see Min Kyu and brought a written statement from Baekhyun's team containing their lies. Knowing this, he ordered Jinbae to sue them all without exception. Jinbae explains that he can't sue them. If he did that, he would be fired from the company because Baekhyun had signed an agreement with Daewon. But Min Kyu didn't seem to care about them anymore and insisted on asking Jinbae to keep making a lawsuit. Then Jinbae submitted his resignation letter stating that Jia had been his younger sister while promising he would leave after all the tasks Min Kyu had completed. Min Kyu certainly felt very disappointed when he discovered that the people he had trusted all this time even lied to him. After that, he expelled Jinbae and Baekhyun's team from his house, and Jinbae conveyed the message to Baekhyun's team. Hearing that, they accepted his decision. Then they packed their things, although they didn't know where to go. Meanwhile, Jia sees Dr. Oh for advice on what she should do to help Min Kyu. He says that Jia only needs to restore Min Kyu's trust. Soon after, Jia went home and asked her sister-in-law to teach her to cook. At the same time, Baekhyun's team told Min Kyu's demands to Seung-hee. Then Seung-hee said, the deeper their love, the more their disappointment hurts, and Baekhyun's team certainly understands her meaning. Even so, they still feel they deserve it from Min Kyu. The scene then changes, showing Daewon meeting Seung-tae again and planning to marry his 2 children again and get rid of Min Kyu. In the end, Seung-tae agreed because he didn't want his daughter to get a future husband who had a strange disease. The next morning, Jia brought the food she had made, but Min Kyu ignored her while throwing away all the food she had brought. Even so, Jia still tries to get Min Kyu to forgive her. Meanwhile, Baekhyun takes P to a campus, so she gets a job as a professor at the campus. But P refuses the offer because she doesn't want to leave Baekhyun no matter what. As time passed, Jia always returned to prepare food for Min Kyu every morning, so that made him feel angry with her presence. He thought Jia did this so that he would cancel his demands. When Min Kyu was about to touch Jia, she avoided him, making him even more suspicious of her. Min Kyu again threw away the food she had brought and chased her away again. But before leaving, Jia said that she was not afraid of his illness and would continue to come back to see him. After a day of looking for a place to live, Baekhyun invites P to rest at a cafe. At that place, she asked if Baekhyun was afraid she would accept the offer as a professor, and then left him. Baekhyun answered honestly that he feared losing P, which made her smile strangely. After that, Baekhyun talks about Min Kyu's situation. P says they have to believe in Jia because Jia knows Min Kyu better than they do. At the same time, Min Kyu met his butler, Mr. Seung, because he felt uneasy with Jia's words. He asked Mr. Seung not to let Jia into his house again. Mr. Seung then told a story about a hedgehog who endured the pain of hugging to fight the cold, and Min Kyu understood the story's meaning. The next day, Jia came to Min Kyu's house late because of an accident. That made Min Kyu think that she was lying to him again. When she came, Min Kyu expressed all his frustration while saying that she disguised herself as AG3 just to trick him into reopening the competition that she was participating in. Min Kyu, while crying, said that Jia should have kept hiding her lies so that he would not feel too much pain. Then Jia tried to explain everything, but Min Kyu refused any explanation, and then kicked her out. Even so, she still sends food to him. The next day, Seung-hee came to Min Kyu's house to tell Min Kyu that Baekhyun and his team really loved him. She told him that Jia tried apologizing and even learned to cook until her hands were covered in wounds. After saying that, Seung-hee went with one lamp made by Jia to her room and left the other lamp in Min Kyu's house. Then he went somewhere to ensure Seung-hee's words. It turned out that her words were proven when he saw Sanip and Haktal fall to catch his car just to apologize. Min Kyu then came home and saw that the umbrella that Jia had left was exactly the same as the umbrella he had kept all this time. He then remembered the portfolio, which showed that the umbrella was her work. Min Kyu remembered his words that he wanted to meet the genius who made the umbrella one day. Then he touched Jia's lamp, and the lights in her room shone so that she remembered that Min Kyu had invited her to watch a shooting star on a hill. The scene then changed, showing Jia and Min Kyu, who finally met at that place. He asked Jia to explain all the lies she has been doing all this time and other facts she has been hiding. After that, she recounted all the events when they first met, starting as President Jo and ending as Jo Jia. At the same time, Seung-tae met with Daewon to tell him about his plans to get Yuri and Yuchul married. But Yuri refused because she was still disappointed with Yuchul and her father's attitude. Meanwhile, P is taken aback when Seung-hee suddenly asks Haktal out on a date in front of him. Back to Jia and Min Kyu, after hearing enough of her stories, Min Kyu finally decided to leave and say goodbye to her. But Jia certainly stops him by saying that what she's been through so far is not just a story, but leaves a feeling she can't hold back. Jia finally says that she loves Min Kyu as herself, not as a robot. Hearing this, he returned and kissed her. Finally, that night ended with a happy hug. On the other hand, Soon-hee and Hoktal decided to date. The next day, the leader of the Bold company, Martin, met Daewon and Yoo and ordered them to hand over AG3 before the signing ceremony started, so he could check on the robot. At the same time, Jinbae and Baekhyun are seen looking for Dongsa after Jinbae gets an email from Madam X. At that place, they ask Dongsa to work together to remove Daewon from the company. But unfortunately, he didn't want to give away the recording because he was afraid that Daewon would look for him and his family's safety could be threatened. On the other hand, Min Kyu remembers how he treated Jinbae so far, making him feel awkward when he calls him to drop all charges against Baekhyun's team and Jia. After Min Kyu dared to call Jinbae, he asked Jinbae to come to his house to discuss the resignation letter the other day. He said he rejected the letter and asked Jinbae to work with him again because he believed that Jinbae had not deceived him. Jinbae then told all the information he got about Martin, who was going to take AG3, and Dongsa, who didn't want to cooperate. When Min Kyu is reading Sanup's application letter, Mr. Seung suddenly says something is going on at the research site, so Min Kyu comes to the research site and finds out that Martin's men have brought AG3. On the other hand, Martin and his colleagues are seen chatting while watching AG3 for research. There, they said AG3 would be used as a very dangerous weapon, and they talked about the secret of killing Min Kyu's parents. Without them knowing it, AG3 can record anything and store it without orders. The scene then switches, showing Min Kyu meeting with Baekhyun and asking him to tell the truth about Jia and AG3. Then he told everything to Min Kyu. He said he had given up on Jia because Min Kyu seemed more worthy of making her happy. After hearing Baekhyun's stories, Min Kyu goes to Daewon to make a deal to sell Baekhyun's team to him so he will gladly resign from the company. However, Daewon refused Min Kyu's offer because even without Baekhyun's team, he could still get rid of Min Kyu because of his illness. After that, Yoo came to see Min Kyu, saying that Min Kyu was stupid and willing to change positions for people who had deceived him. Hearing that, he said someone like Yoo would not understand his decision. The scene then changed. Min Kyu was seen asking for Seung Tae's help, but he flatly refused Min Kyu's request, saying that he would set Yuri up with Yoo. When he returned home, Min Kyu received an email from Madam X. The email was about the results of a reinvestigation of his parents' deaths. On the other hand, the publishing company had prepared an article that would be published according to Daewon's orders. The next day, Jia and Baekhyun's team prepared dinner for Min Kyu. That dinner turned out to be his last dinner with Baekhyun's team because they were about to move. However, he refused the separation and wanted them to return to his house. Fortunately, his request was approved by them. On the other hand, AG3 keeps remembering Martin's attitude, which is very different from that of Baekhyun's team. After dinner, P goes to the research site and cries because he misses AG3. Not long after, Baekhyun arrives and apologizes for his decision while calming P down. Meanwhile, Jia is comforting Min Kyu over the company's problems that have yet to find a solution. Suddenly, his cell phone rings, and he sees an email from Madam X. He finally finds a way out to defend the company and Baekhyun's team. Jia then escorted Min Kyu to meet a woman who claimed to be Madam X's subordinate. The woman said that the Bold company was under Interpol's supervision for crimes of murder, fraud, and destruction. But Interpol couldn't arrest them because there was no strong enough evidence. However, if Dongsa has something about Martin, it will be easy for Interpol to catch Martin and put Dongsa in the witness protection program. The next day, Min Kyu and Jinbae meet Dongsa to convince him to cooperate with them while handing him a witness protection letter from Interpol. After that, Min Kyu stopped the ongoing meeting between Daewon and the Bold company while bringing in the police. Soon after, he was arrested on charges of murdering Min Kyu's parent before company officials. At the same time, Daewon's men received information that AG3 had disappeared. Min Kyu then calls Baekhyun to find AG3 before Martin gets ahead of them. On the other hand, Daewon remains silent even though the recording of his involvement in the death of Min Kyu's parents has been played. Meanwhile, Yoo finally found out that it was actually Martin and Daewon who killed Min Kyu's parents, who were only asked to admit it to get funds from them and help control the company. Soon after, AG3 was found by Martin and Daewon's subordinates. Fortunately, Miami and Alf rescued AG3. Then the police and Baekhyun's team came for help. After that, AG3 was brought home by Baekhyun's team, and AG3 said she was very happy to interact with humans while on the trip. Baekhyun then asked her back up all of her recording files. The scene then moves, showing Min Kyu tired and hungry after carrying out his duties. Then he asked Jia to cook something for him. Shortly after, they kissed. While Min Kyu enjoys his time with Jia, Daewon still tries to eliminate him from the company by ordering his men to instigate Seung Tae to work with them. After seeing the agreement letter, Seung Tae was captivated by Daewon's seduction, and they planned to get rid of Min Kyu by uploading a video of when he was dying. Knowing that, Yuri asked her father to stop, but Seung Tae didn't want to listen to her words. After that, she called Yoo to look for the videotape. And it turned out that AG3's test video was deliberately cut by Daewon so that Yoo would not know about it. At the same time, Min Kyu and Baekhyun's team were celebrating Sanup's birthday. Suddenly, P changed her appearance to become more feminine. Then they saw footage from allergy 3 when Martin brought it, and with that footage, Baekhyun and his team were able to develop other robots that could accompany humans. After that, Baekhyun decided to deactivate allergy 3 and change its face, so the program would continue to develop the next robot. Then they thanked and said goodbye to allergy 3 while saying she would always live in their hearts. After that, Min Kyu gave Martin's crime confession to the woman sent by Madam X, while Yoo Chul intended to apologize to Min Kyu, but he didn't dare to enter his house. Soon after, Yoo Chul met Mr. Seung and decided to come with him inside. At that place, Mr. Seung told about Min Kyu suffering for 15 years. Hearing that, Yoo Chul finally realized his mistakes. Then, he met Yuri to plan something. The next day, Min Kyu's layoff meeting finally started. But, when the board was about to propose a decision, Yoo Chul detained them to witness Min Kyu giving a statement in front of the reporters. Min Kyu then told of the illness he was suffering from and explained that Baekhyun's team and the robot they studied had helped him recover. He said KM Finance will now invest in Baekhyun's team, who will develop the robot. Reporters quickly changed the contents of Daewon's article with the latest news about Min Kyu. Turned out that the news spread fast, thus making many investors want to invest in his company. Then Yoo Chul convinced the higher-ups that Min Kyu was very suitable to lead the company, and he and Yuri refused the layoff, which made other high-ranking officials unable to do anything, including Seung Tae. After that, Yuri brought Min Kyu and Yoo Chul together. At that time, Yoo Chul apologized for his mistakes. Seeing that, Min Kyu happily forgave him, then asked Yoo Chul to persuade Daewon to stop and admit all his actions because Interpol had received the recording. Min Kyu suggested this so that Daewon would not get a harsh punishment and serve a sentence to reflect on his mistakes. The scene changed, and Jinbae was seen meeting Min Kyu. He feels his work is done and asks Min Kyu to agree to his resignation the other day. But the news was heard by Hongjo, which made her angry. Even Jia and her nephew could not calm Hongjo's anger. The next day, Jia asked Min Kyu to come to her house to persuade Jinbae to return to work in front of Hongjo. At the same time, Soonhae and Haktal are seen going on their first date, but Sanup always seems to be bothering them. Meanwhile, Baekhyun and P are having fun at the place suggested by Min Kyu. Unexpectedly, Sanup met his old friend from America and spent time with their partners. The scene then changes, showing Min Kyu visiting Daewon in prison. At that place, Min Kyu asked him to stop following his ambition because Min Kyu, Yuri, and Yoo Chul would advance the company differently from their parents. After that, Min Kyu went to Jia's house and asked Jinbae not to resign. Finally, Jinbae agreed, but with the condition that Min Kyu had to separate work and personal matters. At the time, Min Kyu was the boss, while outside, he was a candidate for his elder brother-in-law, and agreed with Jinbae's conditions. After that, Jia took Min Kyu to her room, where he saw lots of creative ideas from her that she had kept in her locker. Not long after, Jia's nephew called them because Hongju had contractions. Because of that, they took Hongjo to the hospital. After that, they looked happy because she gave birth to a very cute baby girl. 2 years later, it can be seen that Baekhyun has succeeded in creating a new robot, and brought his team to success, while Jia has succeeded in marketing her ideas, as well as Jinbae, who now serves as more than just a secretary at Min Kyu's company. Meanwhile, Yuri and Yoo Chul started living together. They all prepare to welcome Min Kyu's return from military service, which was delayed due to his illness, and this series ends by showing Jia welcoming Min Kyu's arrival. The moral that can be learned from this movie is that honesty is important in a relationship.